Hello, everybody. Thought we would go ahead and pop in this evening. I am here with Billy. We are going to be talking about Silver Made Simple. And just a heads up, I'm actually just looking for the video right now. So you're not like, what is she doing? She's not even paying attention. I'm looking for the video so I can pay attention. That is the idea here. There we go. All right. So, you guys, I always do this disclaimer as the very beginning of all of the videos. And that disclaimer is, why the heck are you doing this? So you guys, I think that like everybody understands why I create the courses that I create, and I can talk about it until I'm blue in the face. However, if I were you, I wouldn't care what I say. If I were you, I would do research, right? If I were you and I were spending time and money on something, I would be checking out what it's done for other people. Is it legit? Does it actually work? I would be looking at those things. So because I would do that, I'm going to go ahead and serve it up to you guys so you can do it, right? So that is why I do these testimonials, is so you can see what different courses are actually doing for people, right? So what we're going to talk about tonight in specific is Silver Made Simple. So Silver Made Simple, just a brief overview of it. It's the daily checklist where you build your Young Living business in 2 hours or less a day. That's Silver Made Simple in the smallest nutshell ever. So Billy, let's go ahead and talk. Okay. So let me make sure my dog isn't under my chair. He just had surgery today. He's got a big incision on the back of his neck. It's got like staples in it. He had to get little teethers taken out and stuff. So he is just going to be under the table for a while, I think. Yeah. But he's good. So how long have you been with Young Living?
So I started with Young Living. So my youngest just turned 5, and I got my first kit when she was about 6 weeks old. So I think this month is my 5-year anniversary. I think.
Oh, how cool
next month.
is that? Yay! Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. So how had you been building your business previous to, you're in Go for Gold as well, yes?
Yeah. I grabbed Go for Gold first, actually. So I guess my upline team is all not in the same location as me, which is fine at the moment. Like it's all good. They're just in different states in Australia. And most of my building has just come from talking to people, random bits, and just like all over the place, I guess you could say. And I guess I've had a few false starts, and I think everyone's seen that as well. You have this person, you're so excited, they've signed up a few people, and then life happens, or a couple of uncompliant things might happen, or whatever it is. But things don't always work out. So my first leg, which was I was so stoked. It was almost like 1,000 OGV, and it fell. And it died pretty hard, pretty quickly. So it took me another year or so to actually then go, well, should I actually share this? Should I be doing this, etc.? So, so then I got to Senior Star, and I was pretty happy, because I think around Senior Star is when basically your oils are paid for each month. Ish. And then I sort of hit a bit of a dead end, almost, like as you'd say, the low-hanging fruit was gone. And then I don't know, it's sort of like I was trying little bits of here and there, and I've got a great upline and all different resources available, but didn't really have anywhere to put it together, if that makes sense. So and then in April, when they did the silver bound bonus, I'm like, no, I'm getting that that bonus. That's good. That's a good incentive. And about that time, I can't remember if it was March or if it was in April that I signed up for the two Go for Gold and SMS, and that just sort of put together some more, put it sort of in a line as sort of thing, and gave me a few bits and pieces to actually then bring it all together. So I still do some of the other things that I've always been doing, but just then streamlining it and actually having those groups. So, you can put, hey, I've met a hairdresser how does that work with Young Living? Or, hey, this has happened. And so the groups there have been really helpful to get information just from all places.
Yeah, those groups, man, they're invaluable, you guys. Like you've got a bunch of people that are they're I've been in cross-line groups before that, I mean, I think all cross-line groups essentially are good, right? But for some reason, and maybe I don't know if it's like, you know, your baby is the beautiful baby or whatever, but like I don't know if that's it. But these groups are just different. They just seem like people try harder to help each other out. It's almost like they go further to help each other out. And I think that that's because they see the reciprocation of other people doing it for them as well. So there's an entire culture built around really taking that extra step with people and helping them out, which is what's, it's just very cool. It's very cool. So what would you say, first of all, what is your favorite thing that has maybe surprised you even about Silver Made Simple? Like, I'll just ask that.
So not surprising, but so, you know, you have your good weeks and you have your bad weeks in terms of motivation. And I've figured that out is a very monthly cycle for a lot of women. And so you have those very motivated weeks and those not so motivated weeks. And they really correlate in terms of if you do actually go out and I said 5, not 10 people a day. I'm still a semi-newbie on Facebook in terms of putting my heart out there, if that makes sense. But if you do that, then you do get the growth in your lead group, and you do get the people asking more questions. And if you put those curiosity, you know, all of those things, it's not surprising that when you do the stuff, you get people coming back to you. And then it's very obvious when I don't do some of those things that those leads are not there, especially at the moment we're in lockdown again. So we aren't talking to people face to face. So there wasn't even that buffer there a lot of the time. So one of the, I think also the celebrations with each other. It was really exciting just to be able to go with a whole heap of other people, go, look, we made it, we did this, we got silver bound together, even though I don't even know where half the people are from, probably a different continent. But, you know, you can celebrate together and people understand what you're celebrating. They understand the hard work that you are. Like if you said to someone who isn't in Young Living, you're like, oh, guess what? I got to executive with the silver bound bonus. I'm so excited. They go, oh, yeah. Good on you. You know? Yeah. So it was good to celebrate with people who actually understand what you're up to. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that you were saying that you could tell whenever you can tell whenever you do the things, but you can also tell whenever you don't do the things. And it's and you guys, just for you guys that aren't familiar or don't know, it's a checklist every day. Okay. So you mark off what the different things are, but yeah, it's so true. It's like the story of somebody doing push-ups or reading a book about doing push-ups, but not actually doing the push-ups. You can look at the checklist every day and think, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then keep moving and not actually do anything. And you're not going to see any results. But if you actually look at the checklist and do the things, you don't even have to do all the things. But if you do some of the things, then you're going to see results, you guys, because the checklist is built to have results. It's built to build on itself and to have results around it, right? So that I've experienced that. Well, I mean, you experience it in any business, but of course in Young Living, I mean, we can see it, we can put a microscope on it. You don't do those daily activities and you just simply won't be reaping the rewards. You don't start building a business and then it accidentally keeps building itself. It doesn't, I mean, you have to keep showing up. You literally do. Well, cool. What would you say to somebody, this is the last question, what would you say to somebody that is on the fence about Silver Made Simple? Like if they're just thinking, I don't know, is that really going to be helpful? What would you say to that person?
So it's a once-off. Mm-hmm. So it's not a subscription. So you don't have to go, I'm just going to go all out right now and do everything. And you can ease into it if you want to. So you might as well do that now. And you get the, like I haven't done, so some of the, for example, in Australia, some of the supplements aren't available. So there's sometimes where you say, post about this, or CBD, for example. One day. So, but that doesn't mean that that isn't useful, because you can just look at other things. Like, it's made so broad that it will be for all, because that was one of the things I was like, well, we don't have CBD, we don't have half the supplements. Is it going to actually be useful for me? But yeah, no, there's so much content, and you go, oh, you know what, today's whatever, the 14th of July, 13th for you guys. But I can go back to look at something in May and grab that if it's not, you know, so it's not even, if it's, you don't have to say, okay, I can't do anything. It's always something to do. So, and
yes.
it's really cheap for that much. And those many stories, all the stories that people have there, and all of the testimonials and all those things, there's a whole wealth of information. And yeah, that was the best thing for me, is it wasn't a subscription. So I'm not paying out every month for something. I do that enough for other things. So that, and it's, so it's really cheap.
Yeah, that's what I don't know if a lot of people realize that it's, you pay for it once and you have it for life, but you can keep doing it year after year after year after year. It's not anchored in anything that's 2020. It's like, it's always, it's evergreen, which means that it's not anchored in anything today. So it's general enough where you're going to be able to do it year after year after year after year, and it's still going to hold relevance. So that's why it's built. That's how it's built out. So awesome. Yay. Well, thank you so much. You have the best morning, because it's, what time is it in Melbourne right now?
It's 9:15. So yeah.
Oh man, you're in coffee hour right now. Yeah.
I'd have to admit, I'm not a coffee drinker. I know.
We can still be friends. It's okay. I'll drink the coffee for you. If we ever go have coffee sometime, I'll drink all the coffee and then you can have something else. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Well, you have a good night. Everybody else have the best, or a good day, then a night. Everybody else, just a good time. Just have a good time. All right.
Cool. Thanks, Martha.
No problem. Bye-bye.